Welcome back, you lovely lot. This is our third of 3 videos for our Saturday the 28th of October sale here at Manor Park Classics. Don't forget, if you're clever and you're watching this on Wednesday, still 2 days to view, 2 days to go online and check things out. Also, come on Saturday morning before the sale at 9 o'clock and you can look in person. So like, subscribe, ring that bell, and also, importantly, register to bid. Right, on with the show, into this, look around. Now, I think they call this a fixer-upper in the estate agent circles. This is obviously a 1983 BMW 735. It's got potential, again, as they say in estate agent circles. It's also got quite a few holes, as you can see. There is rust, copious amounts of rust and corrosion and holes. So quite a lovely hole in that front wing. Certainly would benefit from a pair of wings. Bizarrely, the doors and door bottoms are actually quite decent. Probably could benefit from a rear wing insert at least, or a rear quarter if you can find one. So if you're good at metalwork, this is very much the car for you. It's got a tow bar as well, so you can go classic caravanning. But because of that, because you are going to need to break out the welder and the paint gun, and you're going to need to buy at least 4 tyres as well, as you can see, this one's coming off the rim. This is very much work in progress, a car that you can add significant value to by doing a significant amount of work, but it's no reserve. So you tell me what you think that's worth. You know, you wouldn't buy that for a lot of money. You don't see them very often. They're a great thing to drive, and it's a manual, that one as well. Very rare facelift car, this one, which do look very, very nice. Nice colour, and bizarrely, some panels incredibly rotten. Things like the bonnet edges, it's not even slightly crispy. So actually, a pair of wings, pair of rear quarters, you're pretty much halfway there. An honourable mention here for our Renault van. You can buy this now. Do have a look at this. If you want some amazing promotional vehicle, it does run and drive and stop and start and all that kind of stuff. 12 grand to buy you that, if you want that. How about a 1983 Land Rover 88 Series 3 in the best colour of green? It's a barn find, genuine barn find, this one. Johnny Smith, look, it's even got, come here, my friends, authentic barn find detritus look on all of the top bits and pieces, and genuine moss. So she needs going through. She needs to be gone through and updated and recommissioned. It's locked as well, there you go. I'll open the window for you. Well, Elliot can peek through. It's got an LPG conversion. It starts and drives and runs and does things of that nature. So it does actually move itself around. It's actually not bad, you know. We haven't even made an attempt to clean it. I think people that buy barn finds like to see them in barn find condition. This is very much that. So the tyres are holding air, which is good. The bodywork is surprisingly good, actually. And again, we have estimated that at 3 to 4 grand. So if you're any kind of Land Rover knowledge, any kind of Land Rover specialist, what a great project. She's all there, complete, starts, runs, drives. Away you go, 3 to 4 grand. Now, I have a huge soft spot for these. Everybody raves, quite rightly, about the 205 GTI in 1.6 and 1.9 format. The one that doesn't get quite the same level of recognition, which in some ways is no less fun and in a lot of ways is a lot more practical, is this. This is a 2000 306 GTI 6, so 6-speed manual, and 6-speed was a thing at the time. Very cool car and a very nice colour, 91,000 miles, 4 former keepers. It's got aircon, which is not normal. You don't find that many cars from the year 2000 at this price point that have aircon on. Just a very nice car, lovely interior, good colour, the bodywork's very, very nice as well. Long MOT on the car. Now, you know, with 205 GTIs, a good one's 14, 15, 16, and an exceptional one can be as much as 30 at auction. These haven't got there yet, and they probably never will. They probably never get quite to that heady height. 5.5 to 6.5. Do yourself a favour, pull a contemporary road report on these. They are just hugely entertaining. Probably too nice to take on track all the time, but as a country lane car, as a B-road car, an exceptionally entertaining car. Very light, very tractable, relatively safe because they've got airbags and things, but you just don't see them. Now, my love for an XJ knows no bounds, we know that. This, of course, is a Daimler because of the wavy grille. Nice little detail. And this is really nice, guys. This is one owner from new, 60,000 miles. I'm going to invite Elliot to squeeze his slender frame through the door mirrors here and have a look inside, because the inside is particularly nice. Look at that. There you go. You've got lovely base leather, one owner from new. Original specification. Not many stamps in the service book. It's only got 3 stamps in the book, but it has got some good history with it. Desirable sunroof model as well. It's got the lambswool over rugs. Elliot's just obviously not as slender as we thought he was. Just checking the folding mirrors on the Jaguar there. And just really nice condition for the age. Very nice on the arches. It's got those lovely deep dish Daimler wheels as well. What else can I tell you? The bodywork's very, very good. Very, very good, actually. As you'd expect from a low mileage one owner car. What would buy you that car? Well, probably less than you think. 3.5 to 4.5 grand. And the more I walk around it, the nicer it gets. It's just, yeah, arches are great actually. Paintwork is really, really nice, guys. Leatherwork is exceptionally good. Yeah, that is an utter honey. That really is. And you get on these Danems, you get this lovely rear kind of console ashtray with a wood inlay on the back. I would like to own that very much. I maybe have too many Jaguars already, but always room for another one. Now I have this car in the same colour, not in this condition. This is a 2000 Jaguar XJ 4-litre executive, 29,000 miles from new. That's all it's done. So we've got two super, super low mileage cars. Again, the bodywork on this is exceptional. It was sold to Jersey originally. It's been there for 19 years. It's the V8, so it's the engine you want. It's got 13 stamps in the book, guys. It's done 29,000 miles. It's getting serviced every 3,000 miles. It was driven here, lamps all over rugs, original book pack, and again, just really nice on the body in all the places where these go, and mine has gone, this hasn't. So the leather, back seats as new, if you're on this driver's seat and front passenger seat. That's a super tidy car. If you're buying remotely, guys, if you're looking at this online and thinking, I would like to own that, does it look as good as it does? Yes, it does. Tiny, tiny bit of curbing on the wheel that's been touched in. I like these smaller wheels as well, actually. You can get the 17s on these and they look good, but they don't ride as well. And if you want to waft along, and also I'm saying some nice beading on this car, which suggests it's been very well valeted and looked after. That's a bit of a honey, I have to say. £7,000 to £8,000 would buy that car, and I will be, for one, very jealous. Now this is interesting, very interesting car, this one, because this is actually a bit of a flying machine. This is a 3-litre Sport X-Type, and it's the premium all-wheel drive. So you are looking at here, everyone goes, yeah, the X-Type is a Mondeo and a party frock. Well, let's take that apart. First of all, Mondeo, one of the best handling cars ever made at any price point for a saloon. So based on that, so dynamically a great car. You've then got the 3-litre, you've then got the all-wheel drive drivetrain. This is very nice, 74,000 miles this one. It's manual. This is like a Jaguar Impreza. So you've got loads of power, 4-wheel drive, really, really nice bodywork. Again, fabulous colour, fabulous condition. The guys have done so well consigning all these lovely Jags. I like this very much. 231 brake, 3-litre V6, low owners. What's not to like? And this will not be an expensive car. Even though this has as much as an early Impreza, or more power than an early Impreza, and all-wheel drive, £3,000 to £4,000. Kind of a bit of a hidden gem, that, isn't it? Not many people think of a high-performance X-Type 4-wheel drive as the performance car they want, but winter is around the corner. If you've watched my other videos, you know my current soapbox I keep standing on is don't lease a new car, don't spend £300, £400 a month leasing a car to get you to work. Buy a beautiful old Jag, something that's 3 or 4 grand, a lovely old Merc, a lovely old Beamer, something that will give you all of the same reliability, usability for hundreds or thousands of pounds to buy outright. I'm driving a 1998 Volvo every day, it's beautiful. X350s, the aluminium bodied one. I mean, what a collection of Jags this is. If you want an instant awesome Jag collection, you just buy all 4 at the same time. 2003 XJ8 3.6. with bills for over £5,600 over the last 4 years. It's done 68,000 miles on the Odo, and why I love this so much, it was imported from Japan. Why is that good, you ask? Well, they don't use salt on the roads in Japan. They use pressurised mineral water, believe it or not. So when you see a car that's come over from Japan and look underneath, if you have it from the day it comes over, they're beautiful underneath. You don't see any corrosion, any salt damage like you do on a British car. So for a large proportion of its life till 2018, this car was there, and therefore it's much better. Original spec, well serviced since being in the UK. It's the 3.5 litre V8. These are aluminium, so they're a big car, but they're surprisingly light. And a set of Dunlops. So it comes from Japan. It's a beautiful colour. It's got a great specification. It's a V8. And what are you going to pay for that? 5 to 6 grand. For nothing. What a wonderful way just to waft up and down the motorway. And like I say, if you're leasing a car, think about it. You're going to spend £300 a month, £400 a month. You'll never see that money again. Even if you're running a V8, which is a bit more costly on the fuel, the car doesn't lose any money. So actually, if you tot it all up, it's about the same. Love these, more fabulous Jags, 2001 XKR 100. Now these are a little bit special because these were built to celebrate William Lyon's 100th anniversary. So obviously the man behind all of the classic Jaguars, this was the car they built to celebrate it. Wonderful thing, limited edition, high spec, 3 former keepers, just had a brake refresh, which is good news because these are big brakes. This is the supercharged 4-litre V8. This is a 370 horsepower car from the factory. It goes and sounds exactly like you want it to, with a fabulous supercharger wine. Just mega things these. Fresh MOT, went straight through, no advisories on that as well. This is the thing that blows my mind. I'll just remind you of the mileage, 81,000, but with superb history. You could buy this car, bearing in mind the power output, the spec, what it is, limited edition to celebrate the Jaguar founders' 100th anniversary, 4 to 5 grand. What are we doing? Why are people buying new sports cars when you can buy something like this for 4 to 5 grand, own it outright, with 370 brake, 20-inch split rims? I'm in love. Absolutely fabulous thing. A little bit more sensible, but no less cool. Ford Mondeo, 2005, ST TDCi. So it's very rare to get the ST spec car with a turbo diesel engine. So this is for the family man or woman looking to take kids around, drive quickly, but also be quite frugal at the same time. 118,000 miles, was driven here, tuned by AET in 2017, there's bills for that. Does need a little recommission, needs a little bit of love and a few jobs to do, but it's got a small tune, it's a bit tweaked, it's a bit faster. That has got 176 horsepower, which is neither here nor there, but 432 Newton meters of torque. So I'd imagine you don't have to press that accelerator very hard to overtake in this car. Very unusual, very rare, the best colour for an ST. I'll have the best of both. Have a car that looks good, but also doesn't sip much fuel. Moving on to one of my favourite cars, Porsche 924. Inexpensive. It's got the amazing Pasha seat fabric in this one as well, which is, I think, the best interior for Porsche. It's got the S-style 4-stud wheels on it as well. Very nice on the body. It's been with the current owner since 2010. It's got MOTs going back to 1986. It's got a factory roof, which is always good. It's guards red, which you can't go wrong. And as I say, it's got Pasha. Come and look at the Pasha interior, Elliot. If you're not familiar with this, people go mad for this, and you can see why. It's just so groovy. So it's got an awful lot going for it. Somebody ticked all the right boxes, right wheel upgrade, right colour, right interior. This could be a very good little car going forward, this one. And they're so nice. If you've never driven a 924, they're very light. The balance is perfect. Dare I say, as a 911 owner, better than the 911, because you've got the engine at the front, but your gearbox and rear axle, your transaxle is at the back, so the weight balance is much better than the 911. If you're driving one of these quickly and you're not used to the weight transfer of a rear engine car, you probably have more fun with this. We did one on my first telly show years and years ago, a 924S, took it to Brands, spanked some quite nice stuff with it. And what would you pay for that? Well, let's have a look. I can't see on the bottom, so I'm going to look on the screen. The magic words, no reserve. There you go, no reserve. You tell me, that's a cracking project for somebody. Does need a bit of recommissioning, a little bit of paint chipping here. So bank on a bit of polishing, a little bit of painting, run through, give her a service, maybe treat her to a set of brakes. But that will not be an expensive car to buy, and it could be a fabulous car to own. Now I think you've noticed the MGB selection in this auction is peerless. Perhaps there's not another auction house in the UK that has quite so many. I do like a GT. I'll be honest, I like a GT more than a Roadster, because not only is it designed by Pininfarina, this bit, so you get a Pininfarina car for not a lot of money, they're also really usable. They've got a little bit more headroom in them, massive amounts of legroom, all Bs have that, but you've actually got something that resembles a rear seat for children and a boot. And of course you can fold the rear seat down. So I know people that run these almost as a daily because they're really practical cars. This one is an overdrive model, starts, runs and drives, was driven here, but does need, I think, a little going through. Needs a bit of bodywork restoration, needs servicing, needs definitely a bit of a recommission, but the interior is very, very nice. Doesn't need an interior. Come and have a look at that, El. Look at the condition of those seats. What it does not need is any interior work at all. But why should you be excited about this? Well, it's pretty, great colour, and the bodywork, you know, isn't that bad at all. Because I think you could get this through an MOT. Not that it needs to have one. You don't have to have an MOT on this car. The car just needs to be safe and road legal. I would put it through an MOT. Get it through an MOT, smoke that around, pay no road tax, drive into London, go past all the ULEZ cameras, win at life. Can't beat a 124, one of the best cars ever made. A 300 CE, just effortlessly cool, aren't they? They just do everything so well. Lovely looking car. This 300 CE to me is the sweet spot engine. It's big enough to pull it along. It's small enough to not use too much petrol. 102,000 miles. It's got that straight six underneath. Loads of invoices with it. Lots of money spent recently, and original spec. It's not going to be a huge amount this one either. Look at the lines though. Come and look at the rear quarter on this as well. It's a particularly nice colour. This dark grey, almost black metallic. £4,000 to £5,000 would buy you that. And I'm struggling to think of a car that you could buy. Don't forget you can get 3 kids on the back seat. It's got a proper boot. And again, classic cars that you can use if you wanted to most of the year. This is that. Dump the lease car, buy an old Mercedes, look after it, service it. It will do everything your lease car will, other than depreciate. And here's a car that you can really use every day. As I say, lana guard it underneath, rust proof it, make it nice, and you could drive this as your daily. This is a 1989 Mercedes-Benz 300e. £11,000 has been spent on this car since 2015. It was driven to the sale room, almost 100 miles to get here. Desirable sunroof car. It's got the owner's manual. It's got a major servicing gearbox in 22, so it's had just everything done, all the bills. She's ready to go. That was nearly £800 spent last year. And what could you buy that for? £4,000 to £5,000 you could buy that for. And the mileage on that, 81,000, which on the Mercedes is not even running in really. They will do 250,000 miles easily. There's your daily driver. Just have that, run that forever. It will outlast all of us, that car, if you continue to maintain it in the manner to which it's become accustomed. Now this car's back in and I'm very pleased about that. Someone's going to take this home, this dictator spec 560 SEL, so the biggest engine you could get, the longest body you could get. Long wheelbase, all the room, all the engine. Now this car is a higher mileage car. She's done 218,000 miles, but that's a great way to buy an old Merc, because the thing you know about a car that's done all those miles, it's been on the motorway. And at a motorway speed, the car's up to temperature, it's doing very little steering, very little braking. Actually, motorway mileage doesn't wear a car that much at all. Fantastic service history, loads of original factory extras. This isn't the original colour, so do bear that in mind when you're bidding. It's quite a price range car anyway. This car has been colour changed, and I say it looks very good in the black. But it won't be expensive, £4,500 to £5,500. Have a look at the price of other lower mileage 560 SELs and you'll see utter bargain, which again, if maintained, will breeze through to do 500,000 miles without breaking a sweat. And it's very easy and good spares backup for those old S-classes, and they are just a wonderful car. More price range CLs. I think we've got 4 CLs in this sale. If you want a Mercedes-Benz CL, come to Manor Park Classics on the 28th of October, where we have 4. If you want an MGB, I think we have about 15. This one has done 79,000 miles. This is a 500, this one. It's got an amazing service history. It has every MOT from 2003. It has both card keys, which is very important on these. Comes with a tailored car cover as well, and the classic Mercedes colour combination of silver with like a stone leather. 79,000 miles with monster history. You're getting the gist now, guys, aren't you? £5,500 to £6,500. These are not expensive cars to buy. Find a good specialist. They're not expensive cars to run. Look after them, treat them well, and they will last 10, 15, 20 years. These are kind of the last of the cars that are fixable and runnable. They don't have loads of body control modules. They don't have loads of outrageously expensive stuff. They can bite you, I'm not going to kid you, but get a good one, look after it, you'll have lots of fun. And for £4,500, £5,500, you can afford to be a little bit brave. Another one here, this could be the bargain of the sale. You might see my hand go up for this one because, ladies and gentlemen, this one is a no reserve car. And don't let that make you think that it's not a great car. The paintwork's beautiful, black, great wheel choice. I think it's running on a lower air control module on this one as well. 127,000 miles, automatic, one family owner up till 2021. So it's only had another owner after that. 3 former keepers in total, full book pack, electric heated seats, all the bits and pieces, all the whistles and bells. I just think that's what you could buy that for, like, I don't know. What will that go for? 2, 3, 4 grand? You tell me on the day. But if you take that home, just imagine buying that. Imagine if you bought that for like 3-something grand. You would just be laughing all the way home, wouldn't you? What an absolutely stonking way to travel for not a lot of cash. Just come round, Elliot. If you're thinking Christmas is coming, I want to treat myself, just look at the rear line, look at the proportion of that as a coupe. I mean, first of all, the car is simply enormous. Only Mercedes could make a coupe that big look that good. Look at it, guys. Look at the swagger that thing has. And then remember the words, no reserve. You could be driving that car home for low single-figure thousands, and I think that would feel like a lottery win. It really would. Now, bizarrely, for about the same money, you can have this. 190, We talk about practical classics, we talk about cars that you can use, drive, get into the scene, something that's not going to bite you, something that will actually be a daily driver. This is that car, 1988 Mercedes-Benz 190 2-litre, been with the same family until 2022 with a monster service record. It's on 103,000 miles, it's got 17 stamps in the book. It's a manual, which I actually quite like on a Merc. It's got matching Continentals from my local dealer of B&K Thomas in Nottingham, and it's great. Lovely paintwork, really nice on the body. I'm just going to have a little walk round for you. Yeah, it's really, really nice. Super straight. It's on trims, and we all know what we think about Mercedes on trims. They just work. Wheel trims are always considered to be the naff alternative to alloys, but actually, on an old Merc, just again, come around and have a look. Don't they look good? An old Merc on trims, it just has a special kind of magic. So 103,000 miles, not even a third or a quarter of a way through its life. And you would buy that, you'd take that car home. If you have somewhere between £2,500 and £3,500 in your bank account, you could buy that, you really could. Don't forget, 12.5% on top, buyer's commission, but that's all you've got to factor in. Now finally, in our amazing Mercedes lineup, have a look at this. 300e, it's 1992, just oosh. Colour could not be better for me. It's like this dark metallic silver, almost venturing into gunmetal with a black interior, 102,000 miles, 3 former keepers, driven over 240 miles to get here. Got a sunroof, it's got Continentals on it. She's a beauty, isn't she? And she's not going to be a huge amount of money, but these E-classes, because of the practicality, because again, this is a car you can use all the time, £5,000 to £6,000. Just really pretty, very beautiful car that. And the two-tone couldn't be better for me. That is how you should spec an order, colour-wise, engine-wise, model, perfection, absolute perfection. Buy that, keep it forever. It'll be here long after we've all gone. Moving on, so many nice shadows in this cell. 1973, she's looking good for a 50-year-old car. Remember, brown has become very fashionable again now. This is nice, attractive looking car, 110,000 miles. This was part of a collection of 20 cars. This has had a very easy life, this one. Owned by the same vendor for 22 years, correctly registered as an historic vehicle, so historic tax, MOT exempt, ULEZ exempt, all of the above. Lovely badge bar for you to add your badge on. That registration comes with the car as well. And it's just a lovely thing. A few little bits to do, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. A few little chips and marks on the paint, a little bit of micro blistering. One of those lovely cars that you can just run, have fun with, improve, do a bit of bodywork on. It's not cheap to paint the rolls, they're quite large, but I think the end result would justify it, or just enjoy it as it is, patinated and careworn, and for £7,000 to £8,000. Do you really care? Just have some fun with it. Just drives, starts, on the button. When we've moved it around while she's been in, she's been impeccably behaved. So that's a good sign. Moving on to this, 2 of these in the 7. We've got lots of really great cars and multiple examples of them. This is a 1996 840, this one. So this is your V8 version of the 8 Series. Very desirable, lovely colour this one, 138,000 miles. Factory sunroof car in lovely condition. It's got book pack and leather wallet. It was driven here 200 miles. There's a few little marks on the paint to sort out. It looks like it's been badly stored here. It looks like something has fallen across there. So a bit of paint work to do. A few little bits and pieces. Very, very nice colour. Might be Boston green, I think, that one. And that's going to be between 8.5 and 9.5 grand. I think this is our last chance, guys, to get cost-effective, half decently priced 8 Series. They're starting to get very expensive. So we've got the V12 manual project car in there, which could be real bargain for somebody. This could be 8.5 to 9.5, and with maybe, I don't know, 500-600 quid worth of paint, you can make a beautiful car out of that. And dare I say, maybe the V8's a little bit easier to live with than the V12. Certainly a bit cheaper to run. That's a cool thing. On to this lovely, lovely late 92 BMW 520. I adore the E34. To me, this is the most perfectly proportioned of all the 5 Series. This is the one I would like to own. 85,000 miles, original spec with a sunroof, this one. Again, driven here 200 miles. Few bits to do, mega on the bodywork. Tiny bit of delacquering on the door there. The screen is starting to delaminate, which obviously doesn't actually affect the MOT. It's not gone into the vision area, just looks a little bit unsightly. So obviously what you might want to do there is wait until you have it on a classic policy with a windscreen cover and wait to get a stone chip, and then it can all be replaced at the same time. But this car, again, despite the condition, despite the fact it doesn't need much at all, the interior is very nice. In fact, come and see the interior. It really is very good. Tiny bit of a pull on the driver's seat, little bit of fabric damage there. But 3.5 to 4.5 would buy you that car, my friends. Great car in there, just really handsome. Just something about these. I think I blame it on Ronin, the film. If you've not seen the film Ronin, where they use an M5 in that film, E34 to me, just the most handsome, perfect size, perfect shape, best 5 Series they did. This I love, going on about unexceptional cars. If you want to laugh, watch the Jeremy Clarkson Vauxhall Vectra review from many, many years ago on Top Gear. This is one of those. This is the 1.6 Envoy, which to be fair, was towards the bottom of the range. Smaller engine, smaller spec, but this is a particularly lovely example of one. This has got such nice condition. We're calling it Time Warp. I am struggling to fault this. Very noisy motorbike going past. You've got a couple of little dents in the bonnet. Something has fallen on there. So you've got 2 dents in the bonnet to do, one tiny one there. Your dent man will get that out for probably about 150 quid. But the paintwork on this car is exceptional. It really is. So an automatic Envoy 1.6, can you imagine? This, if you've got a speeding ticket, if you're on 11 points, this is the car you want. This is the car that's going to slow you down, let life come at you at a much more gentle pace, and just be a lovely wafter, basically. Original dealer plates, stickers and key rings, very original, great colour combination. And the more I look, the harder it is to find anything wrong with this car. Like I say, you've got a few dents, tiny bit of lacquer discoloration on the roof. So if you're into making it perfect, do the roof, de-dent the bonnet, and 3 to 4 grand. We go on and on about Haggerty's Festival of the Unexceptional simply because it's such a great event. This is the kind of car that you will take there, particularly an Envoy spec, and you'll be greeted like a god, because that's a fabulous car that's probably 300-400 quid away from being concours, that car. And this I am in love with. This is my left field choice. If people say, what car would you like to take home? I'm going through a bit of a Vauxhall period actually. I bought a Frontera 2 sales ago. I bought a Calibra in the last sale. Maybe I should complete the hat trick and get this 1999 Vauxhall Omega 2.5 V6 Elite. What a thing. What a thing. There's a very noisy plane about to go over, so I apologise if it's very noisy. 1 former keeper, 23 main dealer service stamps, top of the range Elite. Cam belt's been changed, let's have a look, 4,000 miles ago. Tick, 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 best colour ever, like the dark green metallic. If you're my age, all the motorway cops used to run these when I was a kid. And there's a reason for that, because they're just super comfy. They just go anywhere at speed, and they are the ultimate Luxo barge, basically. It was driven here over 200 miles, and I bet that was the best 200 miles anyone's ever driven. If you can get past the badge snobbery, the fact it's a Vauxhall, not a BMW, it is one of the most comfortable motorway cruisers you will ever drive in your life. And at 40-odd thousand miles, probably do another 200 if you look after it. 3,000 to 4,000 miles. So there you go. That's the cars outside. I've got some lovely minis and tiny cars to show you inside. Come with me. And welcome into the mini room. It used to be the docks room. It's now full of minis, which is very all right with me. And starting with this lovely Moke, 1968 Moke, and I cannot convey to you, even via the magic of television, the condition of this thing. And just come and look at the paint. It's a very hard panel to get flat, a Moke bonnet, because they're not really that flat to start with. Look at the shine and the uniformity of that. Look at the panels. We are on sale day. We're going to stick a please do not sit in this car because this is so pristine. I think that wants a bit of PPF on it to make it perfect. This car has had an out of its box restoration. Like, so much money has been spent on this car, I can't even begin to tell you. Comes with its original British Motor History Heritage Certificate, and it has done 378 miles since it was completed by mini specialist Scoot Turner. And my word, they have done an amazing job. It's perfection, guys, it's absolute perfection. Concours level restoration on this car. You'll see that Moke have actually bought the car back with an electric car. I'm a bit of a purist, I prefer the old stuff, I prefer the internal combustion engine in my Moke, and this is like stepping back in time and ordering a new one. It will not be cheap. We're estimating it between 27 and 29. I don't believe you could have done the restoration for that, looking at the quality of the work. It's really, really good. So if you want the best that needs nothing, if you're the kind of collector that just likes cars you can tuck into your collection and they don't need any work, that's that. It has done 378 miles since a Concours nut and bolt restoration. So there you go. That is the one you want. Well, moving on. The first mini special edition for your pub quiz, if you don't know, was the Stripey. This is it, 1976, the Stripey LE. The first time they tried to do something a bit funky and cool with the Mini to shift a few more units. And they're called Stripeys for the obvious reason, if you look inside, they have these very stripy interiors. What can I tell you? The original Mini edition, they made 3,000 of them. It's very original, I have to say as well. Runs and drives, it is a project, guys. You are going to need to spend a little bit of time and money on it, but not a lot. Because if you look at the place where these all go, and it's nice, it's got the very desirable earlier shell with the dual drip rails as well on this. Tiny, tiny bit of crust in the gutters there. Seams are very good, tiny little bit on the bottom seams, but just a very nice thing. A very satisfying project. If you're looking for a Mini that's not too daunting, it's not going to need loads of panels, loads of paint. I think a lot of this is original paint. It's definitely had some paint blown on the quarter, but I'd say bonnet, wings, doors, possibly roof and boot, even look like original paint. It's just starting to oxidise and go over, but I think a little bit of bodywork and some love on this, and you'd have a very nice car. And because it's a stripy LE, very desirable. You could add value to this, and at 4.5 to 5.5, that wouldn't be hard to do. That could be a very nice car, that. This car, I like. Now, there's cars on the table time, this. This is listed as a 1971 Morris Mini Cooper. I think the Mini aficionados amongst you will see there are elements of that car in this creation, and it is a very nice creation. But this is a wonderful bits of this car. So you've got a genuine Cooper engine and gearbox in this. You've got twin fuel tanks. Someone I would imagine in ancient history, which used to happen a lot with Minis, got a genuine Cooper, probably in a very rusty shell, and reshelled it into a later car. I would guess, looking at these front wings, a beige, probably City, a primrose yellow City. So the paintwork is poor. It would need repainting and sorting to do that. As I say, please, if you're bidding remotely, this is not a genuine Cooper shell. This is Cooper bits reshelled into a later shell. But that doesn't make it not a cool car. And of course, it makes it very affordable. So 1275 Cooper engine. It's got the really nice 10-inch mini lights on. It's got the proper arches on. It's very nice inside. Wrong seats for a Cooper as well, but don't let that stop you enjoying a really nice car. So all the purists out there will be aghast in horror. But if you just want a nice, fun Mini with a good shell that just needs a bit of cosmetic tidying, and will be a huge amount of fun to drive while you tidy it, you could buy that for between 7 and 8. And as we're about to find out, if that were a genuine Cooper of a similar period, it would be a lot more money. Because this one, 1971, this is the real deal. So you can see, for all you buffs out there, this is the correct dual drip rail, correct gutter position there. So this is a 9,000 mile, 1971. So 9,000 mile, I guess, is an Odo reset after restoration. We think, from what we can see, looks like the original body shell on this car. Does have matching numbers engine. It's an older restoration, but it's sitting very, very well. Lots of history with the car, and it's been in the same family since 1996. So because with every inspection that we can possibly do, but please satisfy yourself if you want to buy this car, this looks legit. This does look like proper Cooper shell, all the right bits, in period with an older restoration. And because of that, it's a bit more money than our lovely bits are in the corner. 23 to 25, that's what proper Coopers cost. And aren't they gorgeous? Great colour, really nice interior in this. A couple of tasteful mods, aftermarket gear knob and steering wheel. But drives really, really well. And so close to the correct spec. I think, you know, great investment car, a lot of fun to be had just hooning around in any old Mini. But a Cooper, what it could be going forward and the potential increase in value, that's a good one to buy. We love a Fiat 500. They're just so much fun to drive, and this one's great. 10,500 kilometres after its restoration in 2011. MOT exempt, tax exempt. It's manual. This came from Switzerland of all places, and it's mega on the bodywork. I have to say, the bodywork's really nice. Low mileage, really nice period colour. A bit like if your kids are into Cars, the movie. It's a little bit like Luigi, isn't it? In the tyre shop. Look at that, the interior is fantastic. The carpets are good. The rubbers are nice. Someone spent a lot of money on that about 12 years ago, and it's sat in it very well. And as I said, having only done 10,000 kilometres, 6,500 miles, what would you pay for that? Christ, that's cheap. 5.5 to 6.5 grand. Like I say, we did one on the show. It's probably going to cost you at least 20, 25 to do one to that standard. You could buy that for almost a fifth of that. Crikey, what a great car for the money. If you want one, don't be put off by left-hand drive, guys. If you're driving a city car, you're nearer the pavement, and when you come to sell it, simply sell it through a great auction house like us that has international customers, because someone in Switzerland, France, Germany, they'll buy that and think it's perfect. Right, genuine barn find alert. Right, Coopers, we think, we've had our Mini aficionado on this. We think this is the real deal, guys. We've done every check we can do on this. 1964 Morris Mini Cooper, genuine barn find. You can see that, all the authentic dust. And the shell is better than you think. It's going to need some bodywork. It's going to need some panels putting in, but I don't think it needs a reshell. I think you can save this shell, and that is very important to the value of a coupe. If you can use some of the factory sheet metal in it. It is a full project, as you can see, but we've checked everything from the wiper motor, it's got the external hinges, it's got the correct windows. Everything we can see is correct. The only thing, I'll show you, cards on the table. If you look, it's got the wrong boot lid, it's got the right lights. So if you look, it's got an Austin Cooper boot lid, so I think someone swapped the boot lid. It's got the wrong reinforcements inside. But other than that swap boot lid, I think, and it's got row styles on when it should have steels, there is an actual Mini Cooper with a savable, I think that is a savable body shell, and I think, you know guys, that's potentially original paint as well. 8.5 to 9.5, you can see what the top of the Cooper market is. If you're looking for a proper matching numbers car with authentic bits and pieces that could be made into something really quite special, there is your project, and it's sitting there all honest and unmolested, just how we like them. So you get 8.5, 9.5, you can buy that, make your own amazing Cooper. Or how about a Riley Elf, where someone has done all the work for you. She's back again, she needs to find a home this time. Beautiful little car, this one. 67 Elf, 95,000 miles, fantastic history. We think it's a factory spec car. Everything's as it should be. And it's had a restoration a little while ago, but it's got a full photographic record of that. So everything that's been done, you can see. Just starting to go in a couple of places like they do. A couple of micro blisters, little bit around the wing seam. So I'm guessing it was an older restoration, but it doesn't take away from the charm of the car. And incredibly usable, and of course, a bit more practical than a Mini because they have double the boot space. You could buy that for between 4.5 to 5.5 grand, which does show you really what these little Rileys are, somewhat of a bargain in the Mini world. And you get to drive behind that imposing grille, have all the fun of a Mini for a fraction of the cost, and you get to take a much bigger picnic. That's a great car, someone should buy that. And finally, 1998, so we're getting toward the end of the Mini's life, as it were, as the Rover product. Mini Cooper 1.3i, and this is 25,000 miles, and it looks, from all we can see, interior wear, history, MOTs, the whole lot, we think that's genuine. And I do think these narrow body run-out Coopers are the ones, they drive so well, single owner plus a dealer, low recorded mileage, mega history, long MOT, and very, very original. It's had a tiny bit of paint, but also a lot of this bodywork is original paint. Come and have a look at inside Elliot. Very, very nice interior. Doesn't need much this, you know, at all to become an incredibly nice car. And she's ready to go. 5.5 to 6.5 grand. There's a few tiny little blebs on the roof that just need doing. I'd paint the roof, I think, to make it really super nice. A couple of very tiny parking dents on the rear quarter. But this is me being incredibly finicky, guys. That is a lovely car. So there you go. If you want a small car, if you want a Mini or a very nice Fiat 500 or an impeccable moke, we have those for you, but you can't buy them if you haven't registered to bid. So please register to bid online or come and see us on Saturday and do it in person. Like and subscribe for our videos, and I will see you online or in person on the 28th.